Beyblade is a series that's been going on for over 2 decades now. They have toys and anime and even a bunch of video games. And with so much content, there are loads of cool, interesting facts that you might not have known about. This is a compilation of videos I made covering almost every Beyblade fact that I could find. Also, these videos were made over the span of the last 4 years, so some of the older videos my voice is so different, and I don't know if it's because it changed or I just got more confident on camera, but it's definitely different. Just a heads up. Anyway, enjoy. Famuya got inspired to create and use a Fafner Beyblade after watching one of Free De La Hoya's matches on TV. Did you know that Lucifer, Helios, and Hyperion were all derived from First Uranus? Lucifer kind of got the chip motif, Hyperion kind of got the shape of First Uranus, and Helios, I guess he kind of took a little blue from Uranus. Honestly, I don't really know, but this is what they told me on the Karatomi website. Vault's dad in the manga has white hair. There is actually an error in the anime where they gave Maximum Garuda teeth. And oh my goodness, if they gave Maximum Garuda teeth in real life, that would be absolutely horrible because it would have amazing stamina and it would have amazing burst resistance. It would literally break the game. In the manga, one of Rantaro's magazines is a Koro Koro magazine, the magazine that shows off the new Beyblade manga chapters and occasionally reveals new Beyblade products. Louis Shirasaki's birthday is December 25th, aka Christmas Day, which is kind of fitting because his Beyblade Longness kind of has ice powers. The manga for the Beyblade Burst series is a lot more graphic than the anime. In the manga, it actually shows Shu getting cut by his own Beyblade against the battle with Louis, while in the anime, it was kind of just implied. Beyblades are actually based on Japanese traditional metal tops called Beigomas. The school that Vault and his friends attend actually pay homage to this, Beigoma Academy. Did you guys know that Xander was the one who broke the original single layer Valkyrie and forced Vault to create the upgraded dual layer version Victory Valkyrie? Also, the manga stadiums are a lot more realistic than the anime stadiums. The anime stadiums are these cool, awesome, like dome black stadiums, and they look freaking sick. Every kid that watches the anime wants like a real life anime stadium, while in the manga, the stadiums are a lot more realistic. They're more like the standard Karatomi stadium, except I guess they're a little larger. Amaterios is rumored to be owned by the strongest, once legendary blader. In the manga, Shu seems to have a much more crude personality, as you can see by this panel, where Shu proceeds to just kick Vault in the crotch. Oof. Karatomi actually created a Beyblade release, B00 Chozi Valkyrie 1 dash reverse reboot dash. There's a lot of dashes there, but they created a Beyblade release for a YouTuber called Hajime Set Chow, and that's really interesting. To Karatomi, you should hit us up. That'd be so sick. Imagine like a LeftBurst Beyblade. That'd be crazy. A mixture between like Fafner and Spriggan. Okay, sorry. Let's get back to the facts. Lord Spriggan was originally designed to look more like Legend Spriggan. Air Knight's motif was based off an unused Valkyrie design. Ukyo, Phi, Renwu, and Louis are the few left-handed bladers. In the manga, Shu did not battle Wakia, so Spriggan first started to crack in the battle against Louis, which I think it's a lot more fitting because I remember when that happened in the anime, I was like, okay, Louis shouldn't get credit for breaking Spriggan because it was really like Wakia and Wyvern who cracked it, but at least in the manga, Louis was directly responsible for breaking Spriggan. Vault also seemed a lot more upset about Spriggan breaking in the manga. While in the anime, remember when Spriggan broke, like he was kind of shocked, but then afterwards they were literally on the beach and you went and played in the water and you didn't really care about Shu and Spriggan. I thought that was such a weird scene. I really didn't get that. Like Vault should have had so much more sympathy for Shu. If Vault had like a little bit more sympathy and tried to comfort Shu a little more, maybe Shu wouldn't have turned into Red Eye. I don't know. Vault is just very like inconsiderate. And yeah, I'm going on a tangent, but yeah, in the manga, at least Vault was a lot more considerate and seemed a lot more upset about Spriggan breaking. Mirage Fafner was originally not planned to have as much rubber as it was released with. Wakia is jacked. Hikaru went through a lot of design changes, and in his past designs, he seemed like he was a lot more intelligent and a lot more calm than what we got in his final design. There's a Beyblade bar in Japan that sells a bunch of different Beyblade dishes and sometimes sells exclusive Beyblade recolors such as the clear Drigger. Going back to the manga, I kind of want to talk about a few facts on the final battle against Volt and Louie in the Dual Layer series. In the manga, Victory Valkyrie actually cracks in the battle against Louie, which kind of foreshadows what's going to happen in the God series, where Christ Satan totally obliterates Victory Valkyrie. In the manga, Volt actually hurt his arm doing the runaway shoot against Louie Shirasaki, which is kind of interesting because it kind of draws a correlation between Volt and Shu. As you know, Shu in the anime always has an injured arm, and in the manga at least, Volt also has an injured arm. Final fact about the battle between Louie and Volt in the manga, Louie actually copies Volt's launch in the manga. They both do the runaway shoot. After the end of the Beyblade Burst Dual Layer series in the manga, it actually foreshadows Shu becoming evil. Cursed Satan was originally designed to only have 4 wheels. The manga implies that the Plastic Generation and the Burst Generation take place in the same universe. When Genesis and Apocalypse were first released, people speculated that they were the GT evolutions of Trident and Excalibur, which is really weird to think about. Some people also believe that Knockout Odin was the GT evolution of Achilles before we officially got Union Achilles. Which, I can kind of see that, like they both have like the dual sword thing. Cisco, Louie, Trad, Shu, Rantaro, Ken, and Daigo all appeared in the Beyblade Burst GT manga, but not the anime. Duo Eclipse and Brave Valkyrie are both based off of Beyblade design competition entries. Hoji never appears in the manga with Horusude. Twin Nemesis in the anime uses Jaggy instead of the stock combo, which uses Ultimate Reboot. Jin, the owner of Jail Jurmungun, tried to join BC Soul. Blind, the owner of Dread Bahamut, never won one major battle in the anime. Even though he had that really cool special move where he turned his Beyblade into a Bey Wheel, he still never won. He's just that bad of a blader, what can I say? Shu Kurenai shares the same last name as a character from Beyblade Burst Zero G, Ren Kurenai. Here are all the time skips between each Beyblade Burst series. From Burst to God, it was a few months. From God to Cho-Z, it was 2 years. From Cho-Z to GT, it was 3 years. And finally, from GT to Sparking, it was 1 year. Free was never defeated in the Beyblade Burst manga. Speaking of Free, did you guys know that Free is named after Oscar De La Hoya, a professional boxer? Christina, the owner of BC Soul, is half Japanese and half Spaniard. The Extreme Dash driver that released in Random Booster Volume 22 on Super Satan. That sounds like a horrible, why they named something like that. But yeah, the Extreme Dash driver that released on that Beyblade was actually made out of clear rubber and is said to have softer rubber and better grip on the stadium than any other Extreme driver released before it. Dead Phoenix and Big Bang Genesis never appeared in the manga. Miniboros is the only Beyblade to keep the same driver 2 evolutions in a row. The single layer Miniboros comes with Quake, and the dual layer Mad Miniboros also comes with Quake. The GT version of Longinus, Zwei Longinus, originally had a rounder design with 4 blades around the same size, kind of like Bloody Longinus, but they later changed it because they wanted it to look more like the original Lost Longinus. The gold on Imperial Dragon's chip was designed to blend into the gold on the master layer. In the manga, Volt was actually the one in Setafy who purposely broke Z Achilles to try to release Iga from the evil aura of his Beyblade. Cisco and Shu are the only Beyblade Burst characters shown to be able to launch with both hands. The main cast of Season 1 of Beyblade Burst all have last names that pay homage to colors. Daiga Kuro, Kurogami in Japanese means black. Shu Kurenai, Kurenai in Japanese means crimson. Rantaro Kiyama, Ki in Japanese means yellow. Volt Aoi, Aoi in Japanese means blue. And finally, Ken Midori. Midori in Japanese means green. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the day, and I'll see you guys later. LeftBurst out. So a few months ago, I created a video where I counted down 50 Beyblade facts that you might not know. And that video blew up. You guys loved it. It's one of the biggest videos on my channel now. And since then, we've gotten a whole new Beyblade series. And of course, Beyblade is just a humongous franchise. So today, we are counting down 50 more Beyblade facts. Let's get started. Did you know the reason why Volt's name in Beyblade Valkyrie start with a V and Shu's name in Beyblade Spriggan start with an S is because their characters were designed to be rivals, and when you put both initials together, you get VS, which is short for versus. This fact literally blew my mind, guys. I just had to say it first because I was literally mind blown when I heard about it. Here's another really interesting fact that blew my mind. The layer locking and remodeling system, originally seen in the GT series that carried over to Sparking and Dynamite, was originally planned for the dual layer series through the use of chips that would be able to change the Beyblade's teeth. So basically, God chips with teeth. Rantaro's magazines have multiple purposes. They're not only for reading, Rantaro uses them as armor and even a substitute for pillows to sleep during class. Infinite Achilles was made to work with the 2-balance chassis that was released on World Spriggan. On World Spriggan, the chassis will either be free spin or stationary depending on how you position it on the Beyblade. For Achilles, if the layer is in shield mode, the 2B chassis will be free spinning, but in attack mode it will not. And honestly, if they went through all the effort to make it compatible with the 2B chassis, they should have just released 2B on Achilles. Like, I don't understand why they released the inferior 1B chassis on Achilles when they made it compatible with 2B. It just doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. Takara told me you do you. Next fact. Here's another Achilles fact. The rubber on the Dimension Dash driver on Infinite Achilles was made to be a little longer compared to the prior Dimension driver to help with durability, defense, and stamina. Shu is a monster, and in the manga, he broke more than 10 flippin' Beyblade stadiums. Who's paying for these things? Jeez. Hoi, Phi, Drum, Hoji, and Delta are the only characters seen using ripcord launchers instead of string launchers. The driver High Hold Dash featured in Random Booster Volume 26 is the first High Dash driver hybrid to be released. Also, I still can't believe that we're on flippin' Random Booster Volume 26. Like, that's crazy. I guess Takara told me really likes their money. Guys. We're getting a cat girl in Beyblade. The E-girls are too powerful. They even managed to make their way into Beyblade. Speaking of women, that sounded so weird. I promise I will never say that sentence ever again. Anyway, there has only been 3 main female characters seen using Beyblades in Burst. Those characters being Sasha, a member of BC Soul, Nika, Volt's sister, and Chris, the owner of BC Soul. The Beyblade Nika uses is Kaiser Kirby's Knuckle Unite. Saber Valkyrie released almost exactly 6 years after the original Valkyrie. The original Valkyrie released in July 19th, 2015, and the new Saber Valkyrie released on July 17th, 2021. And here's a bonus fact. I am flippin' old, guys. I remember when the original Valkyrie came out. It's already been 6 years. That is so crazy. I'm old. Bell is the creator of the Dynamite Battle system. Count Knight is Zack's brother. Here's another fact about Count Knight. He was corrupted by Shadow on Materios, which caused him to grow a few tattoos on his face. This is Evil Eye's official owner. Here's a really interesting fact that also kind of blew my mind. Volt's birthday is March 21st, which can be abbreviated as 3/21, aka 321. 321 go shoot, 321 let it rip. Coincidence? I think not. The Dread Bahamut layer is the last official stock Beyblade layer to be released without metal. And of course, this is if you count chassis as part of the layer. In the manga, Boa obtained Arc Bahamut in the same way Shu obtained Spriggan Requiem in the anime. He didn't just get it from some random cave, he did that like weird test tube thingy. Apollo is the only Burst Beyblade to completely change spin direction upon evolution. When creating Infinite Achilles, they tried to incorporate all past Achilles into its design. Drum is the only blader to switch from a ripcord launcher to a string launcher, and I think the only reason they did this was because of course they had to do like the sparking launch, and for Drum to be a legendary blader you kind of had to use a string launcher, although I think they did release ripcord sparking launchers, so I'm not sure why he didn't use one of those. Regulus is technically a star, but Burst made it a lion because it's in the Leo constellation. And I guess Leon was just like too cool and they couldn't replicate it in Burst. Imagine if instead of getting Regulus, we got a flippin' Leon Beyblade. That would have been so cool. Volt is stronger than a leopard. He's flippin' buff. I don't know why I said it like that. Oh my goodness. Louis broke Legend Spriggan in the manga, forcing Shu to create Spriggan Requiem. In the anime, Shu just decided to abandon Legend Spriggan after losing to Louis. I guess it just wasn't powerful enough. Here's another fact about Legend Spriggan and Shu. After Louis broke Legend Spriggan in the manga, we got a scene that was a callback to the beach scene between Shu and Volt when Storm Spriggan broke. Instead of Shu like smiling at Volt though, he snapped and yelled at him, which honestly is the correct response. If my best friend was like playing in the water while my hopes and dreams were dead in my hands, I'd be mad too. I'd probably snap as well. Cho Z Achilles was designed facing forward instead of the side like Z Achilles because the designers wanted to create an Achilles with a closer connection to Iga. By making Cho Z Achilles front facing, Achilles would be looking straight at its blader Iga. Burst Uranus is the only Burst Beyblade to only appear in flashbacks. Renzaro is a relative to the Kiyama brothers, but at the moment whether he's like their cousin or their lost brother is not confirmed. We just know that they're related. Zack is born on New Year's Day, which is kind of fitting because he's like known as Zack the Sunrise or Zack the Sunshine, like the first thing you see in the morning. When designing World Spriggan, the designers couldn't decide whether to make it look more like Legend Spriggan or Spriggan Requiem, so they just went with both. Ken's puppets die if anyone else uses them, which is kind of morbid, but like whatever, it's Beyblade. Hoi uses his launcher like an archer. Every Beyblade character in Burst has a Beyblade that starts with the same letter of their name. Well, at least that was true until we got Lean, who was revealed to use Uranus, and obviously L and U don't match, but then Lean got Lucifer, so like I guess the world was at peace once more. Phi didn't turn evil in the manga, and thus in the manga there was no dead Phoenix. Just like Infinite Achilles, Rage Longness incorporates all past Longness designs. The chip motif is from Bloody Longness, the dragon heads are from Zwei Longness, the stickers are from Nightmare Longness, and finally the wings are from Lost Longness. Hell Salamander is the only left spin generic Beyblade, and I guess all the other ones are just like too cool for that. The Beyblade world has McDonald's. Well, I guess it's kind of McDonald's. Instead of their logo having an M, they have a W, so I guess it's really WickDonald's, which I still think that's crazy. Like, I guess McDonald's really is everywhere. They also have pineapple devices instead of apple devices. Guys, Splatoon X Beyblade is not a fever dream, it's actually real. In the manga, Volt and Rentaro dress up as Inklings from Splatoon while battling Joshua. While in the anime, they dressed up as ninjas, but honestly, like, Inklings are so much cooler. Are ninjas in Smash? I didn't think so. Well, kind of they are. Isn't Sheik a ninja? Okay, whatever. And Greninja's there too. Okay, disregard what I just said. Geist Fafnir was originally supposed to have a red gem instead of a green one. Volt modeled his runaway chute off of a fish he saw jump out of a river. Valkyrie is the first protagonist Beyblade in Burst to have someone besides the main character own it. Rashad owns a red Brave Valkyrie, and there was also a Shadow Blader in the God series that used a shadow version of God Valkyrie. 9 is the only single digit that wasn't made into a core disc. This was because there was already a disc called 9 that released on Lost Longness. Bahamut and Ragnarok are the Beyblades with the most owners, and if you count generic combos, I guess Ragnarok like wins by far. Drum is the only Beyblade protagonist that did not get a direct upgrade to their Beyblade's driver. Volt's Reboot became Ultimate Reboot, Aiga's Extend became Extend Plus, and Hikaru and Hyuga both got evolutionary parts for their Zone and Exceed driver. And while like technically Dragon got Ignition Dash when it evolved into Imperial Dragon, but that wasn't like a direct upgrade to the driver like the drivers we listed before. Hollow Death Scyther's Scythe originally had a much more jagged design. Many people have speculated that Excalibur Beyblades always hinted at the next Beyblade series gimmick. The original Excalibur, which released with the single layer Beyblades, was the first Beyblade layer to be released with 2 layers that made contact while spinning, similar to that of dual layers. The dual layer Xeno Excalibur was the first disc to incorporate metal and plastic, hinting at the core disc and frame combination we would see in the God Layer series. The God Beyblade Siege Excalibur's gimmick was that it had metal in the layer, which was the main gimmick of Cho-Z. And finally, Cho-Z Buster Excalibur had tabs that allowed it to change modes, somewhat similar to that of tabs on the GT Beyblades that allowed you to customize the layer, and since then we haven't got a new Excalibur, so like ow. In the anime, Wakia used Jet Wyvern, but in the manga he doesn't appear with Jet Wyvern. Instead, Daiga appears with Hollow Death Scyther. Only 3 Beyblades have appeared with painted discs in the anime: Lost Longinus, Hazard Kirbyus, and Jet Wyvern. And here's a bonus fact: if you like this video and subscribe, you'll be blessed with 100 years of luck, and that's totally true. You should definitely do that. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, that was 50 more Beyblade Burst facts.
I love these fact videos. Please keep making more of them more often. Can you do more Beyblade facts? Do part 3. I need another video on 50 facts. Can you do more facts? This time then you will facts. Much more about your facts. Yes, your facts. 50 facts. Do more we like to see you in pain.
Bruh.
You guys have asked, and we're back with another 50 Beyblade facts. Since the last fact video, we practically finished the Dynamite Battle series and their line of Beyblades, so we have quite a bit to cover. But before we do that, quick shout out to the subscribers of the day. Thank you to Fireblaze Greninja, Lego Spryzen Z, and Frog. I chose Frog because I thought their profile picture was very nice. Anyway, if you want to be the subscriber of the day, make sure to subscribe, and let's get started with the facts. In a question and answer featured in the Dynamite Battle Volume 1 manga, it is revealed that Louis can afford an island because he was born into a family with a long line of wealth. That, and apparently he's flippin' killing the stock game, guys. He's a stock investor. Infinite Achilles appeared in episode 11 of the Beyblade Burst Sparking/Surge anime, which released on August 14th, 2020. However, Takara Tomy didn't release the actual Infinite Achilles toy until October 24th, 2020. That's more than a 2-month gap between the Beyblade's reveal in the anime and its official release, giving Infinite Achilles the title of the most delayed Beyblade release. Did you know Achilles wasn't originally scheduled to release in October? It actually had its release date switched with another balance type Beyblade, World Spriggan, which released a week before its anime debut on September 19th. This switch was due to manufacturing issues that were caused by the longest Beyblade that had to wait for an evolution was Ifrit. The original Inferno Ifrit released November 12th, 2016, and the new Magma Ifrit is scheduled to release January 1st, 2022. That's over 5 flippin' years, guys. The shortest was Regalia Genesis, who only had to wait 3 months for its evolution, Big Bang Genesis. Ren Wu Sun, despite being part of the Big Five, is the only blader to lose every battle in the Beyblade World Championship Tournament Cup. Afterwards, his rank dropped to 12 in the world. Honestly, it should have gone lower. I haven't seen him since. The Beyblade World Tournament Cup and Evolution actually takes place in Moab, Utah, as can be seen from the terrain and arches in the background. When remaking Metal Fight Beyblades into Burst, Takara Tomy feared their round shape would cause them to be overpowered. So in response, they made the metal and some of their layers lopsided in order to make the Beyblades more off balance and nerf them. For this next fact, let's calculate how much it costs to get a fully upgraded Dynamite Battle MSRP, which basically means the price the retailers in Japan sell the Beyblade for, so the lowest price you can really get. Anyway, Dynamite Battle itself costs 1,507 yen. To get the F gear, you need to buy Vanish Fafnir, which costs another 1,507 yen. The V gear comes on Savior Valkyrie, which retails for 2,640 yen. The S gear comes on the Astral Spriggan set, which retails for 3,960 yen. And finally, we have the L gear, which comes on Guilty Longness, which is 1,650 yen MSRP. So in total, that is 11,264 yen, which roughly translates to $100 USD. $100 for one Beyblade, and this is the cheapest you can get it, not including like people bumping up the prices on eBay or the cost of shipping from Japan. So this Beyblade is flippin' expensive, guys. No wonder it makes sense that Belle lives in a flippin' mansion. The cost to get a fully upgraded Dangerous Belial is even more expensive. The starter set that includes Dangerous Belial goes for 5,940 yen MSRP. Combined with all the other products you need to buy, gets you to 15,697 yen, which translates to around $140 USD. Kooza's name is inspired by a real-life Canadian circus by the name of Kooza, K-O-O-Z-A. That's kind of funny since Kooza's main gimmick is that he's a circus actor. The only layers that have permanent awakenings are the Savior layer that released on Savior Valkyrie and the Imperial layer that released on Imperial Dragon. Magma Ifrit is owned by the first female blader to own their own unique Beyblade. Magma Ifrit is a Hasbro exclusive Beyblade. It has slopes and fits with the Hasbro quad driver system of having two different driver modes. Alright, last fact about Magma Ifrit, actually maybe, it's just a really interesting Beyblade. It's really interesting how in the anime, they introduced a Hasbro exclusive Beyblade. Like, why would they do that? They've never done that before. Anyway, this fact is that Ifrit is the only Beyblade to appear in the Beyblade Burst anime that hasn't received an official release in Japan. So basically what I just said. Zack, Xander, Zan, Quan, Yuki, Yugo, Fubuki, Gwen, Delta, and Phi all appeared in the Beyblade Burst sparking manga, but not the anime. In the manga, Helios broke in a team battle between Lane and Hikaru and Hyuga. Hyuga's Beyblade never broke, and the reason Helios ended up breaking was because Hikaru protected Hyuga from an attack, so it was really Hyuga's fault. Actually, in the Beyblade Burst manga, there is a common theme of Hikaru being the older brother and protecting Hyuga. Not only from Lane, but also from other strong legendary bladers, like when he defeated Aiga and Union Achilles to stop them from bursting Hyuga's Hyperion. Another fact about the sparking manga, in the manga, Hikaru actually quit Beyblade after losing to Lane. He became the #1 A-class blader, but in a battle against Lane, he was brutally defeated. His defeat to Lane was so traumatizing, he decided to quit Beyblade for the rest of the manga. Lane made him cry like a baby. Hikaru cried himself to sleep that night, guys. And I don't know, I'm laughing at that. But instead of Beyblade, he devoted himself to soccer for the rest of the manga. The Beyblade type with the most Beyblades is Attack, with 38 unique Beyblades. The Beyblade type with the least amount of Beyblades is Balance, with only 26 unique Beyblades. I didn't realize there were so little Balance Beyblades. Also, bonus fact, the others are 30 Defense Beyblades and 29 Stamina Beyblades. Almost every release in Sparking allowed for a small chance to pull a rare color chassis. But did you know the 4 Attack chassis that released on Hollow Death Scyther never received that rare variant? Boa gets his name from his strong association with the Snake Pit organization. For those who don't know, boa constrictors are a type of snake that are found in South America and can grow up to 10 feet. That's terrifying. Another Boa fact, because everyone loves Boa, his blood type is AB, which is a nice reference to the abbreviation of his Beyblade, Arc Bahamut. Astral Spriggan and Infinite Achilles are the two stock combo Beyblades with the most modes. Astral Spriggan has 16 unique modes, and Infinite Achilles, with its Dimension Dash driver, has 18 unique modes. Christina's birthday is on Earth Day. Gasm is the first Beyblade character in Burst to be seen using two Beyblades with different motifs. First, he is seen using a Kaiser Kirpius Beyblade, and then his iconic Maximum Garuda, the banana. Arrow and Yell are the only discs that have the ability to include up to 5 flippin' stars. Zach and Joshua share many similarities. Both are celebrities that appear around the middle of the season and are a part of the most powerful group of bladers in their series. In Zach's case, the Spin Emperors, and in Joshua's case, the Big Five. Greatest Raphael is the first Beyblade in the anime to use a high driver. Raphael is an archangel in mythology, which contrasts Bell and his Beyblade Dynamite Battle, which is portrayed to be a devil. So he's a Ninja Turtle and an angel. He just has it all, guys. Ultimate Valkyrie is said to be an amalgamation of all prior Valkyries, but Savior Valkyrie has almost every gimmick from prior Valkyries as well. It has an awakening gimmick like Victory Valkyrie, a spring-loaded layer and driver that changes mode mid-battle like God Valkyrie, metal in the layer like Winning Valkyrie, a spring-loaded driver like Slash Valkyrie, and rubber in the layer like Brave Valkyrie, and it still sucks! The only gimmick it doesn't possess is Chozy Valkyrie's Burst Stoppers, which it desperately needs. Basara is the only character in Beyblade Burst to switch his Beyblade with a recolored version. Rashad is the first character in Burst to own a version of a protagonist Beyblade as their main Beyblade. Well, besides the Shadow Bladers, of course. So far, Sparking has had the least amount of products, with only 21 products from B159 to B179. While the Dual Layers had the most amount of products with 39 products, from B34 to B72. Kit Lopez has only been seen battling the protagonist in Beyblade Burst. In the Chozy series, he battled and lost against both Iga and Volt. The owner of Deep Chaos, Cleo, has his birthday on Halloween, fitting his vampire theme. For the next segment of Beyblade Facts, I thought it would be interesting to talk about the Metal Fight series. So yeah, fact number 38. In the Metal Fight manga, it was revealed that Ryuga was an actual descendant from an ancient king who hailed from a clan of people who were part dragon. This makes him perfect for harnessing the Beyblade El Drago. Speaking of Ryuga, in the Metal Saga, there is a character that bears a very strong resemblance to him. This character's name is Ryoto, and he is the owner of Omega Dragonis, another dragon Beyblade. His hair is the exact same as Ryuga's, except he has red highlights on the right side of his hair, while Ryuga has red highlights on the left side of his hair. This might refer to their Beyblade spin direction, since Dragonis is a right spin Beyblade and El Drago is a left spin Beyblade. That was a bonus fact, by the way. That wasn't the real fact, you're welcome. So yeah, the real fact is that although they look alike, it's never actually confirmed that they're brothers. They just come from the same ancient dragon clan. The design of the original Hybrid Pegasus and its commercial was different compared to the product that was actually released. And for those who don't know about Hybrid Beyblades, they're basically the single layers of the Metal Fight series, kind of like prototype versions of the iconic Beyblades that we grew to love. As you see here, the commercial version of Pegasus had a more aggressive shape with this small piece of metal sticking out. I assume they changed it because the metal piece probably broke off easily. Everyone talks about how Metal Fight Beyblades are cooler than Burst because they have metal wheels. But did you know Takara Tomy actually released a series of Metal Fight Beyblades that had no metal on them at all? Yup, in the first few random boosters of the Metal Fight series, they released Beyblades with what they called light wheels. They were basically plastic versions of the classic Metal Fight wheels. For instance, the light version of the Storm wheel is the Wind wheel, and the light version of the Rock wheel is the Clay wheel. They were slightly more aggressive than their metal wheel counterparts, however there wasn't as big of a safety issue since the wheels were made out of plastic. When patenting the hybrid wheel system in Metal Fight, basically the system that introduced energy rings, Takara Tomy showed a diagram of a prototype Rock Leone that was very different from the Leone we received. The gaps between the Rock wheel are much larger, and Leone seems to have a prototype version of the around sharp tip instead of the wide ball tip. It's kind of cursed, I don't really like it. On to the final Metal Fight fact to round off our Metal Fight fact special. And the fact is, the most important Metal Fight fact, Kyoya hates potatoes. The mark on Volt's face is supposed to resemble the yellow motif on Single Layer Valkyrie to show a strong connection between him and his partner Beyblade. There is a Beyblade named Ultimate Michael that was rumored because Takara Tomy copyrighted the name. People made fun of it because it was a dumb name, but then we ended up getting Greatest Raphael. So really, was it a dumb name? I don't really know. Beyblade had a partnership with Duel Master, a manga and card game. It's like a poor man's version of Yu-Gi-Oh! Jet Wyvern is one of the only Beyblades in the anime that has yet to burst. Ken and his puppet hands mirror his Beyblade Kirbyus, a three-headed beast. Phoenix and Dead Hades were technically the first Chozi Beyblades created, since both Phi and Hearts received them years before the Chozi series. And finally, the final fact, Volt appeared in a Koro Koro 40th anniversary OVA. Alright, that was another 50 Beyblade facts. If you guys do like the fact videos, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, do all that jazz because they are quite difficult to make. Thank you, editor Riley, you are amazing. Anyway, see you guys later. Have a nice day. LeftBurst out. Beyblade X is the brand new Beyblade series that just came out in Japan last summer, and because it's so new, I thought it'd be fun to do another 50 Beyblade facts video, but this time focus solely on the new Beyblade series, Beyblade X. We put a lot of work into bringing you guys the best Beyblade content on YouTube, so if you could subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated, and yeah, let's just get started. Fact number 1. With the launch of Beyblade X, the company Litpla Inc. created this futuristic digital Beyblade stadium that they called the XR Stadium, and oh my goodness, it looks so cool. The XR Stadium has special effects that follow the Beyblade around the stadium, similar to what would be seen in the show. It looks like a Smash Bros match, to be honest. It also shows status lines that show how strong the Beyblade is spinning, kind of like a heart rate monitor. So when it stops moving, the Beyblade is basically dead. The voice actor for Cosme Bird is Shuichiro Umeda, who also voices the main character in the anime Zom 100. There is a Beyblade called Diamond Nuts. I love it. These are the beta designs for Dran Sword and Hell Scythe, and honestly, I kind of like the Hell Scythe's beta design. The text Inferno Bomb, that just looks so cool. But I will admit, the Dran Sword one does look kinda terrible. I'm happy we ended up with the final design for that guy. In the first chapter of the Beyblade X manga, the main character Bird calls the Dran Sword Common X is using a bootleg design, since he thought Ryugu the #1 blader owned that Beyblade. This might be a reference to the multitude of fake and cheap Beyblades being sold online in real life. In the manga, the leader of Team Phalanx broke the same amount of Beyblades in one chapter as Shu did in the whole Beyblade series. A total of 4 Beyblades. There is a special version of Dran Sword you can only get by paying your taxes. Yup, Japan has a tax program that allows people to donate some of their taxes for gifts and services in return. And I guess one of them is a Dran Sword. That's cool, I guess. For the next couple facts, I want to talk about the Beyblade X crossover, which is part of their 25th Beyblade anniversary. For every Beyblade series, they sent out a poll and had fans vote on which old Beyblade they want to be remade into the new X Beyblade series. So for the next fact, let's talk about the top picks for the Burst series. In 5th place, we have Lost Longinus. 4th place is Spriggan Requiem. 3rd place, Ultimate Valkyrie. 2nd place, Victory Valkyrie. And 1st place, surprisingly, is Xeno Excalibur. Like, I didn't know Xeno Excalibur was so popular, but it won. So expect to see a Xeno Excalibur X Beyblade pretty soon, and some of the other top picks as well. Next, let's talk about the Metal Fight top picks. 5th place was my man Rock Leone, 4th was Meteor El Drago, 3rd was Galaxy Pegasus, 2nd was Storm Pegasus, and the absolute winner was Lightning El Drago. That one will be kind of interesting since we don't have a left spinning X Beyblade yet. Finally, for the Plastic Gen, the winners were Tripio, Dragoon S, Drigger V2, Drigger S, and Dragoon MS. And they're actually currently working on turning Tripio and Drigger S into their X designs as I'm writing this script, so maybe by the time this video comes out, we'll actually have a Tripio X Beyblade, which I have no idea how that's going to work since it's literally just a massive frisbee. Alright, that was cool, but let's get back to some non-crossover facts. Fact number 11. The owner of the sushi shop that sponsors Team Persona was shown being a young blader in July of 1999, which was when the first ever Beyblade, Ultimate Dragoon, was released. Canonically, in the manga, there is a Beyblade whose avatar is literally a fly. The Beyblade X anime is animated by the same company who makes the Pokemon anime, OLM. In Japan, CoroCoro magazine released a special version of Health Scythe that is a combination of all of Team Persona's Beyblades. The layer is Health Scythe, the ratchet is 380 which came on Night Shield, and the bit is flat, the same bit that Duran's sword has. The avatar is also a fusion of these three Beyblades. It's a blue Health Scythe with a knight helmet and fire coming out of its mouth like Duran's sword. Pendragon is a term with Welsh origins, which translates to head dragon, symbolizing a leader at the highest command. This makes sense since Team Pendragon is the #1 Beyblade team at the top of the X Tower. Speaking of Pendragon, if you look at the dragon on their logo, its claws are very similar to the eye design seen on the leader of Pendragon, Ryugu. In the manga, when they showed X City, it had logos and callbacks to all past Beyblade series, the Plastic Gen, the Burst Gen, and the Metal Fight Gen. They also have Takara Tomi's logo, which is the toy company that creates Beyblades in real life. In the manga, when they're explaining Burn's backstory, in the background it shows a Burst launcher and grip, which kind of like raises the question, like, are there Burst Beyblades in the X universe? Wizard Arrow is supposed to be cute, somehow. Honestly, I don't get it. I mean, like, look at those hands. Someone give this guy a cheeseburger, my gosh. There is an official Beyblade X Roblox game that keeps up to date with the new Beyblade X releases, and to be frank, it looks kinda cursed. The next fact isn't much of a fact, but more of a fun theory or speculation. Even though Burn already owns a Phoenix Beyblade, I think it'd be really fitting for Cosmic Bird to later own his own variation of Phoenix, which sounds crazy, but like, let's just think about it. His original Beyblade was Strike Hawk. Then it got destroyed and he used a dead underworld Beyblade, Health Scythe. But what if Health Scythe somehow gets destroyed as well later down the line, and instead of just using a new variation like Hell's Chain, he decides to bring back his old partner Beyblade Hawk, but this time it comes back from the underworld as the Beyblade of Resurrection Phoenix. It's crazy, but you have to admit, it'd be pretty cool. The ending song of Beyblade X is sung by the K-pop group aespa. When Beyblade X was first revealed, they created a crazy trailer where they advertised Beyblade as a sport. This trailer was created by Kozai Sakai, who also created commercials for giant companies like Nike, Sony, Toyota, and flippin' Coca-Cola. Every X Beyblade that has released so far has 3 metal holders that look like they hold the middle bit in place. But did you know that every team so far in Beyblade X has a different design for these metal holders? Team Persona has a pretty simplistic design, Team Zuganik has a design with a pentagon on it, and Team Yggdrasil has a large sharp design. It looks probably the best out of all of them. The metal holders on Viper Tail are used as snake heads in their design, which when I found out about this, I thought it was super cool. There's a similar subtle feature that can be seen on Rhino Horn as well. If you look closely at the design, you can see 3 small rhino heads. The Beyblade X manga is drawn by the same artist who drew Promised Neverland. From this manga image, it looks like Strike Hawk comes with 360 taper, which is the same combo that comes on Health's Scythe. The Beyblade Crusher seen in episode 1 is based on a garlic crusher. The author of Beyblade X really liked crushing garlic, I guess. In the manga, when Multi talks about Beyblade sponsorships, they show different knockoff social media brands of TikTok, Instagram, and even YouTube. Yggdrasil is a sacred tree in Norse cosmology that supports all 9 realms of the Norse universe. That's why Team Yggdrasil's logo has a giant tree on it. Feather Arrow's stock combo and color scheme comes on the Black Drin sword that can only be purchased by buying a whole flippin' entry set. So if you want the original colors of Feather Arrow, be prepared to spend a lot of money. There's always been a shark-like Beyblade in every series. Classic Gen had Shark Rash, Metal Fight had Pisces, Burst has Fornius, and of course X has Shark Edge. Multi's last name Nanairo means 7 colors in Japanese, which is pretty fitting since she's a pretty colorful blader. Common in Japanese means masks, so Common X just translates to Masked X. Common X might also be based on the Japanese superhero Kamen Rider, who is based on a grasshopper, so that's cool, I guess. Bird still owns a picture and figure of his destroyed Beyblade Strike Hawk, so mark my words guys, Strike Hawk will be back in some shape or form in the future. Bird just loves it too much. Duel Masters is a popular children's card game in Japan, and they made a card with Common X on it. Even though the Beyblade Viper tail is supposed to be, well, a viper, the avatar is actually a cobra. Cobras have more rounded hood heads, while Vipers' heads are more narrow. Every character in Beyblade X has a unique eye design. Karasu has eyes similar to the gears on the Beyblade X Stadium. Ryugu has eyes that look like the 3 metal supports seen on all Beyblade X bays. Kazumi has X's in his eyes, and Multi has a flippin' rainbow. Bird's birthday is August 10th, which is the 222nd day of the year, 222, which I guess makes sense because, let's be honest, he's never gonna be number 1. Speaking of not being number 1, let's talk about Bird's win record. As of recording this video, 11 episodes of Beyblade X have been released, and he has a win record of 0 to 11. He has yet to win a single battle, so his win record is 0%. Bruh. But next fact, let's talk about Common X's win record as of episode 11. He has a win record of 12 to 0. So he's making up for his teammate with a 100% win record, kind of the GOAT. The owner of the sushi restaurant that sponsors Team Persona is Taisho Shushiya. Taisho means General of Armies in Japan, which is fitting since I guess he's kind of the guardian of Team Persona. And his last name, Sushiya, is well derived from sushi. In both the manga and anime, Strike Hawk is missing the Beyblade X logo on its avatar that every other Beyblade X Beyblade has. Wow, that was like a tongue twister. Every Beyblade X bit has a hidden magnet inside of it, which might mean we might get a magnet gimmick in the future. These are the character designs of the main 3 protagonists of the Beyblade X series, and I gotta say, they have massive feet and really weird shoes. Also, Bird's character design kind of reminds me of a similar character design that we received for Volt and Iga a couple years back. Beyblade X has had a couple events where we can get the new Beyblades before their official launch date. This is how Jake and I were able to get Dran Sword and Hell Scythe a month early in Japan. They also had a similar event for the Beyblade Wing Phoenix. In the manga, Multi's suitcase is filled with a bunch of Beyblades that we don't even know the names of. But in the anime, her suitcase is just filled with a lot of wizard arrows, knight shields, and shark edges. And finally, our last fact. This is what Bird looks like in the morning before doing his hair. It's literally a nest. Alright, so yeah, that was 50 Beyblade X facts. If you guys like this video, please leave a like and please subscribe. We really appreciate it. And yeah, if you want to see another Beyblade X fact video, leave a comment and maybe we'll do another one. Alright, see you guys later. LeftBurst out.